Welcome back to Gimme Five with Jones and Eli, guest pod edition. We have a great friend of the pod, great friend of mine, Thomas Riker, on today. And boy, do we have a question to go over. Thomas, subtitles during a movie, off or on?
They have to be off, Jones. They have to be off. I mean, if you're too lazy to listen to the movie, why are you watching the movie in the first place? I'm not saying you gotta turn them off for people that are hard of hearing, for foreign language films. Keep them on, love them there. But when you're just watching a movie, like why are they on? They're distracting from the movie itself. You read the jokes before you hear them. It takes away half of the joke, maybe even the full joke, man.
I mean, yeah. Let me rebuttal this here already, because immediately I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm glad you clarified with the foreign language film, because that would have been a little bit problematic if I'm watching a film in Korean and you're still pro having no subtitles on. So that's a good little amendment that you made there. But still, subtitles is a must. Look, I'm not hard of hearing. I can hear pretty well. Generally, I'd say 99, 100% of the time. And I'm not lazy. I'm going to be watching the movie the entire time. I'm not on my phone. But still, it's important to have the subtitles there, because sometimes you just miss little details. And there are little words, especially in really good movies. Look, I was watching Inception the other day. Great film. And there was this one scene, like toward the beginning, when the guy was speaking and he had this really strong accent and he was talking at about this volume. And I couldn't understand a word he was saying. And there was noise going on in my house and people are walking around moving stuff. And I literally could not understand the movie. It's already enough that we got 800 things going on in this movie, the most confusing movie of all time. Now I got to worry about actually understanding what the people are saying. Just put the subtitles on. It's easy. It's understandable.
Well, it also sounds like somewhat of a separate issue if you're trying to watch this extremely complex movie while people are banging pots and pans in your house and chucking around Legos. I don't know what's going on in your house.
Subtitles fixes that, Jones.
They do it to a degree, right? And I have to say, I've been guilty. I think I fall somewhere in the middle of this debate. I've been guilty of using subtitles in films, but I agree. If you're not, if it's not for hearing purposes and it's not for a language barrier purpose, it is taking away from so much of the film, because I find myself, sure, Elias, maybe you'll pick up a few more words here and there, but I find myself just reading and just looking at that. While you have to think about, especially in a beautiful masterpiece of a movie, the cinematographer and the director created every shot for a very specific reason. They literally engineer the shot for your eyes to be looking in a certain place, and then your eyes are drawn away to something that's not even a part of the original film. It's doing the film a disservice.
Honestly, Jones, I don't even know why I came onto the pod, man. That was perfect. That was perfect. The director, every shot is so intentional. It's this is what you want to see, and then your eyes aren't looking at that thing. Your eyes are looking at the subtitles. Like if you're watching Mad Max Fury Road, you have some beautiful shots in there. And if I don't want to be looking at the subtitles, I don't want to be. It's just like a natural thing. My eyes are drawn to the subtitles, and I can't escape the trap. I don't know maybe it's a me thing, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, what's wrong with you guys? Are you guys 5 years old? You're not capable of watching a movie and having other things there. It's there. You immediately have to be reading it the entire time, and you can't enjoy the shots of the movie. Are you kidding me? I'm fully capable of watching a movie on a television and also having some words in the bottom. Just choose not to look at it if you don't want to. It's not the end of the world.
We'll put ads there. We'll put ads there next time.
Well, I'm not saying put
an ad on the bottom. Those are words.
I'm not saying put two movies one on top of each other. I'm not saying put Subway surfers.
I was going to say, should we put Subway surfers with Inception?
The text, it's not like it's unrelated. The text is literally relates to the movie. If it's there, it's also a great, if you're in a group setting, maybe you're with some friends who English maybe is not their first language as well. You have an old person, you got a young person. It's just levels the playing field. And nobody's forcing you guys to look at the subtitles the entire time. You have free will. Just watch the fucking movie.
No, but you keep putting these caveats. Like, sure, if somebody else is hard of hearing or doesn't understand the language, you throw in the subtitles. Sure, if you're in a house that's like currently burning down, I don't know what's going on in your house again, like, sure, maybe put on subtitles. But we're talking about the ideal viewing scenario. Say you're in in a theater or like whatever is closest to your home theater, and it's quiet, it's night, and you're focused. Maybe you're with other people, but they're focused as well. You're telling me you want those subtitles? Again, Elias, I I understand that you could see what the shot is and look at the subtitles at the same time. But if you're telling me that you don't pretty much end up reading every subtitle, you're lying, because I do it every time. It's natural human nature. You see words pop up on a screen and they keep changing. You're going to read them. That's why we put subtitles on this podcast.
No, I mean, you couldn't be more wrong. The only way, and you had a good point here, Thomas, with the first point you made about the jokes. That is the one time that I will turn the subtitles off, is if I was watching the other day, like a stand-up comedy special or something, and I had to turn the subtitles off because it literally ruins the punchline halfway through. But I am fully in favor of the subtitles, especially for a complicated movie. I think if you're watching like a Disney movie, even a comedy, you don't really need the subtitles. But if you're watching a movie where you really, really have to pay attention, like an Inception, like something like that, where there's so much going on, so many characters are talking over each other, they're talking really quietly, maybe they have some accents, I really think the subtitle is doing more than it's taking away. And I understand that maybe it's can be a bit distracting, but I don't think there's that many negatives that come with it, and I think there's just way more positives.
I think you keep coming back to Inception, but I know that's a movie that when I'm watching that, I want to put my whole brain into watching that movie. I want 100% of I don't even want 2% trying to read the subtitles. I want 100% on that movie because it's so complicated. Like if I have a character like Alfie Solomons and I like Tom Hardy, P.E. Blinders, I can't understand what he's saying. Sure, I'll throw him on for his scene. I'll throw him off, take him off the second he's off the screen. He's off the screen.
Why are you getting so bent out of shape?
That's insane. This needs to be like, well, give me 5 Hall of Fame. You're telling me you watch a movie and you're actively on and off the subtitles? You're managing the subtitles during the movie, line by line? That's insanity.
Well, all right. 99% of movies don't have a character as hard to understand as Alfie Solomons. If you've never seen Peaky Blinders, maybe you don't understand. But like for the overwhelming majority of movies and TV, I feel like you can understand what they're saying. You've spoken English your whole life, man, right? Like,
no, I completely get it. But I want to clarify here. Are you telling me that you are watching a movie and like if you're watching Peaky Blinders or a show or something like whatever, you're actively maneuvering the subtitles on? Because that's like it's not an easy one button press. You got to pause it, go up, subtitles, English. Like you're maneuvering that. Just leave them on.
That's how much I don't like subtitles. I'll go through all that effort. I'll turn them off. I'll turn them on for Alfie Solomons just to avoid having them on the rest of the time. I think it's just distracts so much from the viewing experience that I value. I'll take the 30 seconds to turn them on, turn them off. I'm not using those time. I'm not using that time in my day.
Yeah, I mean, you do make a good point. I mean, I fully side with Thomas here, but I mean, my question is, how do they make subtitles nowadays? Is it all AI now? Because we make our subtitles with AI recognition services, but then you got to go through and comb it over with a fine-tooth comb. Imagine being the guy who's assigned to subtitle Irishman. That would be brutal.
I mean, I think at that point they have a $1 billion budget. They can afford to pay some guy $500 to comb through the
$500,
whatever the wage is. I don't know what the going subtitle rate is these days. If you're a subtitler in the business, but I'm sure that's
you guys don't have a subtitler. You guys don't have a Give Me 5 subtitler that takes care of all your subtitling business.
Yeah, their names are Jones and Eli.
If anybody out there has any subtitling experience and wants to come in the pod and title some subs for us, we'd love to have it.
Yeah, I'd love to, except I just don't want to. I'm fundamentally opposed in all aspects. Just can't stand it, man.
So do you think our social media videos would be better served without subtitles?
I will say for the social media videos, I think they don't have the as much of the the director doesn't have as big a role. He's not saying, "Oh, I want my eyes to be drawn to Jones's eyebrow here, so I'm gonna take some subtitles off just so I can see that," right? Like that doesn't happen. I think that subtitle plus you're watching a video without headphones on. You're in a public place. You're just trying to consume. You gotta just throw it on. No audio. And I think that subtitles play in that scenario in that arena. But I think overwhelming majority of the time the cinematic value. I think it just it's a little bit subtitles take away just a little bit too much.
Here's a question I got for you guys then. You mentioned earlier, obviously, the foreign film. And the foreign film, obviously, you need the subtitles. If you're watching something in, like I said, Korean, Parasite or something, and you need those subtitles. does that take away then? This is just a genuine question. Does that take away from your viewing experience at all? Because in that situation, you do have to be reading the subtitles the entire time. I find those movies a little bit less enjoyable sometimes because I am so focused on reading the subtitles where you are in that point missing a little bit of the movie because you're not getting the visual and audio linked up. Do you guys have that same experience?
I definitely have that problem, and I would say like as well is you're not getting the intonation from the actors, right? You're not, and maybe you're reading and what they're speaking isn't lining up. Some of their facial expressions are a little off. I think undeniably it does take a little bit away, but I think at the same time, I think that the advantages to watching foreign films, getting over that little barrier of subtitles unlocks like a whole new world of film. And I think that that's just, I would read subtitles all day for that. And you know how much I hate subtitles. You know what I mean?
It says a
I would
lot.
read I love reading subtitles for Parasite. You know what I mean? That was an awesome film.
It was an amazing film. This has been Gimme Five with Jones and Eli. A special thanks to Thomas Riker for joining us. Boys, thanks for talking.